Hey everyone, Coach Law here to talk to you today about some things I like and dislike about being a lawyer. Speaking of likes or dislikes, give us a like and a subscribe to this channel and we'll keep going on to number one. So number one thing that I like about being a lawyer is that I have a superior opportunity to help others. And that may be why most of you went to law school. Maybe it was more on the money side, maybe not. I don't think the two things are, separate or need to be. But for me, a lot of what is kind of summed up in what I'm talking about is this quote by Abraham Lincoln. And he's mostly talking about, dissuading litigation, being an honest lawyer, things like that. But the actual quote is, "As a peacemaker, the lawyer has a superior opportunity of being a good man." And I just think that the opportunity that I have as a lawyer is both, unique and special in terms of my ability to go out and help someone, particularly someone that is facing a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear, and to be able to battle that for them and with them. It's just, there are endless unique opportunities to do that, no matter what kind of law you practice. In particular, that's why I'm drawn though to areas of law that are very individual, client-centered or client-facing practices. So whether it's, business related, whether it's in the courtroom, out of the courtroom, whatever it is, if it's solving a real problem for a real person, using law as one of my main tools, that's what I love doing. And that's the unique opportunity I think we have as lawyers to help people. The second thing I love about being a lawyer is interacting with other lawyers. And I mean the ones that you look up to or you're impressed by, the type of people that aren't just type A personalities and get it done and impressive, but also people that really have a heart for others, as the way I was kind of talking about. Now, of course, this could be a like or a dislike for me and many other attorneys, depending on the day in terms of whether you like being around other lawyers or not. But being able to attract other like-minded lawyers to work with you is, I think, one of the most rewarding things about the profession for me, because you have the opportunity to kind of share not only the skills, but also a lot of your passions, for your particular practice area or for the particular clients you're serving. And that's, to me, one of the most exciting things about being a lawyer. I love the unique problems and challenges we face as attorneys. What I often tell people when they ask me about, what is it like doing, X, Y, and Z kind of law or the type of law you do, I often say, well, there's never a dull day. And, that really is true, because whether you're in court or stuck behind a desk, there's some kind of unique problem that you're working on. At least it is for me. And if there's not, you need to find a different kind of law, because if you're not finding interesting and unique issues that affect real people, you need to find something else, in my opinion. But that's what I love about being a lawyer, is the unique problems that we run into, and then the unique and creative ways that we get to try to solve that issue together with other people on our team and with our clients together as well. As a lawyer, I love having the immense number of opportunities that I have to develop the profession itself. And this has to do with both the kind of areas of law or, types of law and influencing that in a real, boots on the ground kind of way. But even more than that, just the delivery of legal services to clients who need them. When I first started at the law firm that I now own, I was interested to find that there were not one, but 5 typewriters in that office. And this was not that long ago. And so that was an interesting eye-opener for me in how slow people can be to change or to adapt, even in very specific ways, to be able to just change the delivery service, be willing to be more efficient, and really willing to open up to clients' ways of doing things. And while this can also be a negative for me, and I'll get into that, but the positive side of this for me is that I have the opportunity to look for ways that match up with how people are using our services or wanting to use our services, or look at ways that other professions are maybe doing it better or more efficiently and look for ways to implement those in our law practice. Another thing that I really love about being a lawyer is the ability to be in trial, sparring with other lawyers, and especially if you ever have the opportunity of working with a jury. I think is the most unique and exciting thing you can do as a lawyer and experience is that interaction of dealing with another professional who has worked just as hard as you have on a case and being able to have some wins and some losses there, but then also to be able to interact with regular people who have a fresh set of eyes, a fresh view on what's going on in your case, what the facts might be, all of that, and to be able to communicate what the legal importance of your issues for this case really are. The challenges of dealing with a jury, I think, are just some of the most interesting that you can come across. I'm not going to get into a lot of details on that now, but it's one of the things I love because you never know who you're going to run into and what kind of conversation you're going to have. And you're always surprised and you're always learning something from that experience. And it's just a beautiful experience as a lawyer. Some things I don't like about being a lawyer would include basically just the stress that you undergo when you are working on a case and you just feel like it all depends on you. Whenever I've run into that situation, I've realized that that is a really negative thing for me and something that I need to work to avoid. But it's real, especially when you feel like it all depends on your decision making or on your level of preparedness or on your, legal or practical decisions around a case and advising a client. Those are real stressors and those are heavy, and I don't always like that. There's ways that I've developed to get around that and make sure that I'm not feeling alone in whatever struggle I'm having. And I think that's probably the biggest, tip or thing that I continually try to keep teaching myself regarding that. But the stress is real and I don't always like it. One of the things that I dislike about practicing law is when I am dealing directly with the court or some government agency or some kind of company or something that's just really bureaucratic and set in its ways and impersonal and is resistant to any and all change, or at least any and all apparent change. There's always a way to work change, but man, when you're going up against a buzzsaw of things that you just feel helpless or powerless to alter or change, no matter how right you think it is for your client or for the broader public even, that is frustrating. And that's a hard thing to kind of sit with and accept, in a moment by moment basis, and can be really frustrating as a lawyer. Professional liability insurance. Hate it. I don't know if it's more of the cost of this or just the idea that as lawyers, we either have to or feel like we have to have just a ton of protection for if and when we screw something up. Because I imagine doctors and other professions deal with this a lot as well. But there are so many important things riding on our cases and our decisions. And that's something that I just, I kind of wish that wasn't there. Right. I wish that part was easier, but that's something that I think is different in every state as well. So for instance, in Oregon, where I'm from, the state requires that you have professional liability insurance. It's just part of, you have to have it. You have to have it through the state. You can have extra if you want, but it's almost as regular as just paying your bar dues. And that's probably a good thing. I don't think there's any other state that does it that way currently as of 2022 or so, but that's something that is just, it's really annoying to pay, first of all. But it's something that in the back of my mind is kind of just this ongoing feeling of liability, and I could do without it. Another thing that really frustrates me sometimes, being a small business owner in particular on that side of law, but just being a lawyer who has to manage their own business, is the administrative side. The admin hours that it takes, and somehow even when you feel like you've got a lot of things delegated to staff, virtual assistants, to other professionals, there's still an incredible amount of administrative work when sometimes I'd rather be working on the more practical sides of my cases rather than the practical sides of the business or the law firm. And that can be extremely frustrating, especially if unexpected things come up. And I guess I'll put billable hours in here as well. We operate more on flat fees, which I'd highly recommend. It takes a lot of the frustration away, I think, for you and your clients. But the administrative side is definitely something that can be frustrating and unexpectedly frustrating for new lawyers when you're coming into practice and you think you're just going to be, reviewing case law and writing memos all day. There's an extreme amount of other skills and things you need to develop in order to make your practice of law as an individual really satisfying without getting bogged down in a lot of the administrative tasks. What I'll leave you with is something that tends to encourage me, and that is that as a lawyer, I have the flexibility to go after and choose to help the type of people or the type of problems or situations that I want to resolve and help get to a better place. And so it may sound cheesy, but you have the opportunity as a lawyer to make the world better, make your small corner of the world better. And that's what I invite you to do with me as we walk through more of these videos for tips on how to best do that and do that in a way that meets your personal, professional, and family goals. So like and subscribe this video, and I'll look forward to talking to you more about things we love and hate about being a lawyer and running a small firm. Thanks. Take care. Bye.